Hello everyone, it's your boy here once again, Classic Fresh speaking. You know how we do it. We simplify, decomplicated. Alright, so let's go on with our pre-market analysis this weekend. Let's dive into. Now the first pair that we're going to talk about is DXY. So DXY, what is exactly happening in the monthly time frame? Let's find out very quick. Alright, so we start on the monthly time frame. We have the monthly upper and then the monthly lower zone over here. Now DXY, the monthly time frame, we are seeing a strong level of buy pressure on this monthly support level and also strong level of sell pressure on this monthly resistance level. So what does it tell us? This tells us that we are in a range or a consolidation period here on the monthly time frame. Now, since we're in a range of consolidation period on the monthly time frame, once price has hit support level, where is it supposed to go? It is supposed to move all the way to the upside. But the question that we are asking ourselves here on the monthly time is that will price move up now? Or are we going to see more sell pressure which will drop back to this monthly support before price take off to the upside? Let's find out as we take you through the various time frames of the market. Alright, so DXY, I'm going to take you straight to the weekly time frame where we can add more details and more understanding. Alright, so this is DXY on the weekly time frame. Let's put meaning into it very quick. On the weekly time frame, we are seeing a strong pin bar over here, or a strong pin. What does this pin tell us? This pin tells us there's more buy pressure over here. But remember, we asked the question on the monthly time frame that will price move up now, or are we going to see sell pressure back here again to pick more level of buy pressure before price goes all the way up? Let's find out as we take you through at the daily time. So the daily time frame will definitely give us an answer whether we come down again before we go up or whether we move continuously to the upside. Let's find out on the daily time frame. Alright, so switching very quickly to the daily time frame. So this is also a daily time frame of DXY. Now DXY on the daily time frame, let's get the understanding over here very quick. So the daily time frame is giving us a very beautiful structure over here, which is easy to understand for us. Alright, so on the daily, what we have the daily upper zone and then the daily lower zone. Price is in a downtrend on the daily. Why? Because we saw a daily push which was lower low, daily exhaustion lower high, and that daily continuation push again, new lower low, new lower high. What should happen next? There should be more sell pressure to the downside. So since the daily is in a downtrend, then that means that we are definitely going to see more sell pressure from here, which will push the market down to give us a double bottom before price will reverse to the next monthly resistance level. So DXY, we're looking for selling opportunities from here to sell the way back to this monthly support level as double bottom before the takeoff begin. Alright, so let's take it all the way to the forward time frame and look at how we're going to pick our entry from this resistance level all the way down to the monthly support again. Alright, so on to the forward time frame. Alright, so this is the forward time frame, and this is where we are picking our entry to the downside on DXY. So DXY on the forward time frame, you can see the structure is being very beautiful over here. Okay, push the downside you saw on the daily, exhaustion to the upside. What happens next? More sell pressure all the way down. But are we going to pick our entry just now to the downside? No. What are we going to wait for? We're going to wait for a double touch on this resistance level before price sells all the way to the downside. So you have seen the first touch or the first confirmation. We're going to wait for another touch here, which will give us a double top, and then we will sell all the way to the downside in that manner. So DXY, this is also a full and complete technical analysis. Alright, let's take it all the way to the next one on the list, which is going to be GBP USD. Alright, so GBP USD is up next. Let's go. Alright, so GBP USD, let us also start from the money time frame as usual. Alright, so this is the money time frame of GBP USD. Now, you guys know that a lot of things have happened in the market, okay, over this few days before the market closed. There was some huge market movement everywhere, okay, huge market movement everywhere, which was very good, okay, because sometimes these news and then these high movement help price to break levels and then we can know the direction very quickly in that sense. Alright, so let's start with GBP USD on the monthly time frame. What do we have on the monthly? We have the monthly upper, the mid range, and then the lower zone. What else are we seeing on the monthly time frame? It's very simple. On the monthly, price was able to break above this resistance level to the upside, which give us what? A higher high. After higher high, we saw higher low. What the price do? It was unable to go to the upside. Instead, what did we see? We saw a push a downside, which give us what? Lower low. And then what happens next? Lower high, price sells all the way to the downside. So if you look closely at the monthly time frame, this level has proven to be a very strong level of what? Sensitivity or sell pressure. Why? Because when price broke above this level, we can even see that what? There's a strong level of sell pressure which has come in, giving us what? A pin bar, indicating that there's going to be more sell pressure to push the market all the way to the downside. So GBP/USD, we are going to be seeing more sell pressure from this one resistance level to push the market back down over here. It's as simple as that. Now, how are we going to be able to find opportunity to sell on the way to a downside on GBP/USD? Let's take it again to weekly time and we can add more details to what we are doing over here. Alright, so on to the weekly time frame for further understanding. Alright, so this is the weekly time frame of GBP/USD. Now, GBP/USD on the weekly time frame, let's put meaning into it very quickly. On the weekly time, we have a weekly what? Resistance level over here. What has passed on the weekly? We have seen what? Weekly push all the way down, then the weekly what? Exhaustion. But this weekly exhaustion that came, we are not going to see continuation move further to the upside. Instead, we are going to see more sell pressure which will break this level to continue selling on the way down. Why? Because of what? This pin bar or this strong pin bar. So this strong pin bar is telling us that there's more sell pressure enough that will be able to reverse the market back down to this what? Support level. But the question is, how do we pick the entry? That's our most concern. How are we going to pick the entry? Let's take it again to daily time to add more meaning to this what? Structure or to this structure over here. Alright, let's take it all the way to the daily. Okay, so this is the daily time frame on GBP/USD. Now, GBP/USD on the daily time frame, we can see a very beautiful break of structure over here. Let's explain. So, on the daily, how about daily mid-range over here? What happened in the daily? We saw a push which was higher high, higher low, a new high, a new higher low, but price couldn't extend further up. Instead, it has broken above previous high to the downside, giving us what? A break of structure. So this one, another push a downside, which we can call what? A lower low or a low, if you want to put it in that manner. And after that, we expect to see a lower high before price sells all the way to the downside. So GBP/USD on the daily time frame, we are going to see buyer pressure from this one, monthly support level, which will push the market down for lower high. Then from there, you're going to see sell pressure bring the market all the way to the downside. So GBP/USD, you're going to stay patient for price to give us that lower high that we want to see before entries coming all the way to the downside. But how are we going to pick the entry? Let's take it further down to a forward time to add more meaning to this technical analysis. Okay, so this is the forward time frame of GBP/USD. Now, GBP/USD on the forward time frame, let's put meaning into it very quick. On the 4H, what are we seeing? We are seeing the same thing that we saw on the what? On the daily time, which is what? A push the downside, giving us what? This lower low here. So we are expecting what? Lower high before we can sell all the way to the downside. So once price is able to go all the way up and complete the lower high, what are we going to wait for? Candle confirmation, be it a bearish engulfing candle, significant pin bar, or evening star before we sell all the way to the downside on GBP/USD. So GBP/USD, this is our full and complete technical analysis. It's as simple as that. Now, there's another scenario that can happen over here on the 4-hour time. That is, if price doesn't go up for the retest to give us a lower high before we sell, and instead it manages to break below the retest, we go slowly for more selling opportunity to a downside in that same manner. So that's also for GBP/USD. Let's go to the next pair. The next pair is going to be GBP/JPY. I know you guys love it. Let's go to GBP/JPY, starting again on the monthly time frame. Okay, so this is GBP/JPY on the monthly time frame. Let's try and then understand what exactly is going on the monthly. On the monthly time frame, we are seeing an uptrend on this pair. Why? Because this was a monthly push higher high, monthly exhaustion higher low, monthly continuation push new higher high. We saw another higher low. But what happened? Price couldn't extend further to the upside. So you can see that after what? The retest over here, price has been moving in a range or a consolidation period. Why? Because there's equal level of buy pressure and an equal level of sell pressure over here. So this is what? A clear indication of a range or a consolidation after the retest of this monthly support level. Alright, so what are we going to do over here? Let's find out as we take you through the various time frames together. So GBP/JPY, I'm going to take it further to weekly time frame to add more meaning to this analysis. Alright, so this is the weekly time frame of GBP/JPY. Now GBP/JPY on the weekly time frame, let's put meaning into it. Strong level of sell pressure on the weekly resistance level, strong level of buy pressure on the monthly middle zone as well. So what do we have here? This one, a range or consolidation, because price has not been moving anywhere. It is just going around in horizontal movements. What I'm going to do, we're going to be looking for buying opportunities on this strong support level all the way to the upside. Let's look at how we can pick the buys on GBP/JPY. First of all, let's take it all the way to the daily time frame where we can add more meaning to the analysis over here. Alright, so this is the daily time frame of GBP JPY. Now GBP JPY on the daily time frame, we have what, the daily upper zone and then the daily lower zone. Price is in a downtrend on the daily. Why? Because some price broke above this one, higher high, give us a new higher high. Okay, came down for higher low, went up, created equal high, and then drop all the way down, giving us what, a new lower low below here. So this is what, a break of structure on the daily time frame. Okay, but remember, this break of structure is still going to reverse the market on the way to advance. That's why we are thinking now. Okay, why? Because of what, the strong level of buy pressure on this support level. Okay, we do not think now that price will go up a retest and then break below. Okay, because this level has proven to be a very strong level of what, sensitivity. But nonetheless, it can happen. But what we are looking for right now is an entry from here all the way back to this one, daily lower zone as lower high, and then once we hit here, we wait for the next one, movement of the market, whether it will break or it will drop. You will see, and then we will capitalize on the next movement as well. So for now, we are only looking for buying opportunity from this support level all the way up to this one resistance, because we know that there's what, enough buy pressure here to be able to do that for us. All right, let's take it all the way to a 4-hour time frame and then prepare for entry on GBP JPY to the upside. All right, so GBP JPY taking it all the way to the 4H time frame. All right, so this is the 4-hour time frame of GBP JPY. Now GBP JPY on the 4-hour time frame, let's try and understand what is going over here on the 4H time frame. Look at the 4-hour time frame. Price give us what, the strong move to the downside. We are seeing what, the injection of buy pressure, which is as a result of what, this wave formation over here. And what are we going to do? We are going to pick our entry all the way to the upside also. So GBP JPY, we are going to wait for price what? This is the first movement that price have seen to the upside. We're going to be expecting a second movement over here to pick more buy pressure before we buy all the way to the upside. So GBP JPY, a little bit of sell pressure back to this support level to pick enough buy pressure, then we will buy all the way to the upside on candle confirmation. Okay, so there should be a second touch over here, which will give us the second row of buy pressure, and then we buy on candle confirmation all the way to the upside on GBP JPY. Now remember, as I said, our target is here at the daily lower high, because we don't know what will happen at the daily lower high. So that's also for GBP JPY. Let's take it all the way to the next one very quick. Alright, so the next one, the next is going to be XAU USD gold. Let's go all the way to gold. What is happening on gold? Now, a lot of you guys have been asking me questions about gold here and there. Alright, gold has been moving crazily. Okay, that's moving very crazily for the past few days. But let's try and put meaning into gold over here. Okay, so gold, this is the weekly time frame. We are beginning from the weekly time frame. What do we have here on the weekly time frame? Let's find out. Alright. So gold on the weekly time frame, we have the weekly upper, the mid-range, and then the lower zone. Price is in an uptrend on the weekly time frame. Okay, why? Because we saw the price return for the push upside, which was for the higher high, and then it came down for higher low, went all the way up. What happens next? Higher high. What should happen next? There should be a new higher low before price will go all the way to the upside. But if you look closely at the daily time frame or the weekly time frame over here, price has not yet given us what? The lower high or the higher low, sorry, that we want to see before what? It goes all the way to the upside. So what are we going to do now? We are going to be finding selling opportunities to capitalize on the next what? Higher low before they take off again to the upside on gold. So gold, we are going to be looking for selling opportunities. Now, if you look closely at this time, we can even spot, okay, we can even spot some strong what? Pin bar confirmation over here. So this pin bar confirmation is an indication that there's more sell pressure, which will be able to push the market further to the downside. Now let's take it all the way to the daily and 4-hour time to understand what is going on over here before we can locate entry to the downside on XAU USD. So XAU USD or gold, let's take it all the way to daily time frame. Alright, so this is the daily time frame on gold. Now gold on the daily time frame, let's put meaning into it. On the daily time frame, we are seeing what? A movement to the upside over. This was a daily push, daily exhaustion, another daily push all the way down. We are seeing another daily exhaustion now. So on the daily time frame, what we are currently seeing is an uptrend over here. But we know that this uptrend is not going to reverse the market because there's more sell pressure on the what? The higher time frame, which will eventually push the market all the way to the downside. But now, how is price going to be able to sell all the way to the downside on gold? Let's take it again to the 4-hour time frame and finish it everything up completely. Okay, let's go to 4-ish and complete the analysis. Right, so this is the 4-hour time frame on gold. Now, 4-hour time frame on gold is very, very clear. Okay, so on the 4H, we can see what? A very beautiful downtrend to supporting our entry to the downside. So if you look closely at the 4-hour time frame, what you're going to see is very simple. Alright, so we have the 4H what? Middle zone and the 4H or the 4H upper and the 4H lower zone. Price is what in a downtrend we saw a double top, a break below, lower low, lower high, and we see what a new break what below this previous lower low. So since price has been able to break below what this new lower low, it means that it's going to continue the movement to the downside. But how are we going to pick our entry? We're going to pick our entry below this what weekly zone over here. So how are we going to pick the entry? Price definitely going to see buy pressure here, go up a little bit to create what lower high, and then drop all the way down to break below. A new lower high will form here, and then we sell all the way to a downside. So gold, this is how I'm expecting a movement before you pick the entry on gold. Okay, yes, if price gives us a lower high, don't say classy, I'm selling over here to a downside. No. Why shouldn't you sell over here? Because this what level contains a lot of buy pressure. It can continuously push the market to the upside. So you want to trade what, or you want to enter the entry below by waiting for the next lower high to be created, the new lower low, and then another lower high. Then we can sell from here all the way to a downside. So gold is going to be what a patience game, and then you know that what with our good opportunities or with our good entries, we always come out what successful. All right, so that's also for gold. Let's go to the next pair on the list. Next on the list is going to be US oil. US oil. US oil. US oil. I've also seen a very crazy movement. Look at this price. Move from this angle all the way to the downside, broke below this monthly support level very easily. Okay, and I just like I told you before, these what high movement on the market helps price to break certain levels that on a normal day it cannot. Okay, so it's very significant that we see what massive move in the market, for some time. Okay, or usually more of the time, so that we can know that price is breaking what levels which are very significant for the next moves to occur as well. All right, so this is what US oil on the monthly time frame. Let's put meaning into it over here. On the monthly time frame, you have the monthly upper and then the monthly lower zone. Price was in a range or a consolidation on the monthly for a very long time. Okay, strong level of buy pressure, strong level of sell pressure over here. Price was moving in the range. Okay, and then anytime price come back to this support level, it always sees some buy pressure to the upside. But finally, this what level has been broken because of what the news. You know, the news carries a lot of what momentum. So without the news, it would have been very difficult for what price to normally break this level. But since the news has come in, we have been able to what to break below, which gives us more indication that what we are dropping to the next level of sensitivity. Now, US oil on the money time frame, since price has broken below this one support level, we are heading all the way down. How can we pick entries to the downside? Let's continue as we take you to the weekly time frame for more understanding. All right, so this is the weekly time frame of US oil. Now, US oil, the weekly time frame, we have a weekly what resistance level over here. And on the weekly time frame, we are in a downtrend. This was a weekly lower low, a weekly lower high, another low equal what? Lower high. Okay, these are all equal. Price has been able to break below this one support level all the way to a downside. So we know that what on the weekly price coming all the way to create a new lower low, a new lower high, then we go all the way to a downside. But what are we looking for? We're looking for more selling opportunities before price get to this one support level. So let's take it all the way to a daily time frame, understand what is going on over here in the daily before more entry to come into a downside on US oil. So US oil, taking it all the way to a daily. Alright, so this is the daily time frame of US oil. Now US oil, the daily time frame, we are seeing what a downtrend. So this was a push a downside, an exhaustion to the upside, and that push all the way down, which are looking below at this previous value. So coming all the way down to create a new lower low, a new lower high, and then price sells all the way to a downside. But look closely, price has not yet created what the new lower low on the daily mid-range. So we are going to capitalize on that new lower low before it gets here on this zone R. So US oil, let's take it all the way to 4 time and prepare for entry to a downside. Simple as that. All right, let's go. All right, so this is US oil on the 4-hour time frame. Now US oil on the 4-hour time frame, let's put meaning to it. On the 4H, this one, a 4-hour push to the downside. After push, what happens next? Retest. After retest, continuation move further to the downside. So US oil, we're going to be expecting price to move all the way, make contact here as lower high, we look for candle confirmation. Then we sell all the way down to this what daily mid-range zone. So that's it also for what US oil. Let's go to the next one on the list. Next one on the list is going to be what? I have BTC USD or Bitcoin. Wow. Let's go to Bitcoin or BTC USD. Now BTC USD, let's begin the analysis on the monthly time frame. Okay, so this is BTC USD on the monthly time frame. Let's put meaning into it very quick. Now the monthly time frame of BTC, where you have the monthly upper, the mid range, and then the lower zone. Price is what? In an uptrend, push, push the upside, and exhaustion to a downside, another push higher high, another exhaustion, higher low, before what price boosts all the way to the upside. So over here on the money that we know that price coming all the way down to complete the next higher low before the movement goes all the way to the upside. So now, how can we capitalize on the next higher low of the market? Let's take it all the way to weekly time frame to have more meaning of what we are doing. All right, let's take it all the way to weekly. Now, this is the weekly time frame of BTC USD. Now, BTC USD on the weekly time frame, we have the weekly upper and then the weekly lower zone. Price in the downtrend on the weekly time frame. Why? Because it created a double top over here, broke below the neckline, which is the higher low, dropped all the way down, created a new lower low. It has gone all the way up, and we are seeing sell pressure coming in all the way to the downside. So BTC USD on the weekly time frame, this is the retest, or this is the what? The exhaustion. On the weekly, we are seeing more sell pressure coming in, which is different, bringing the market all the way down over here. All right. So BTC, if you look at the weekly time frame very well, you're going to see a very strong engulfing candle close. You're also going to see a strong pin bar which has formed over here, indicating that there's more sell pressure enough to push the market all the way to the downside. Now, how are we going to pick our entry all the way to the downside to complete the next higher low on the monthly? Let's take it all the way to daily time frame to have more understanding. Okay, so this is the daily time frame of BTC USD. Now, BTC USD on the daily time frame, we have the daily upper zone and then the daily lower zone. Price is what? Moving in some form of what? A range or a consolidation period over here. Let's explain. If you look closely, there's more buy pressure on this upper level and also sell pressure on this one resistance level. So this looks like what? A range or a consolidation period. Now, since we're in the range of consolidation, can we sell now? No, we cannot sell now. So what are we going to do? We're going to wait for price to break below, retest, and then we can start selling all the way down to the monthly support level to complete the monthly higher low. Alright, let's take it all the way again to a 4-hour time frame and prepare for entry to the downside on BTC USD. So BTC USD onto the 4H. Alright, so this is the 4-hour time frame on BTC USD. Now BTC USD on the 4-hour time frame, price moving in a down. We have the 4-hour middle zone over here. What happened? See what the push the downside, lower low, lower high, equal lower high, and you are seeing more sell pressure all the way down. So on the 4-hour time frame, we are going to what? Wait for price to break out of this one struggle over here before we pick the entry. How? By breaking below to give us what? A new lower low, then wait for what? A lower high, and then we can sell all the way down to the monthly support level. So BTC USD, this is our full and complete what? Analysis. Push your downside, retest, and then we sell all the way down. Alright, so that's it also for what? For BTC USD. So BTC USD we are done. Very simple as that. Let's take it all the way to the next pair on the list, which is going to be Euro USD. Alright, very good. Very good. Euro USD, let's go. We did DXY. Let's do what? Euro USD in addition. Let's look at what Euro USD has to offer us. Alright, so this is Euro USD. Let's begin the analysis also on the monthly time. On the monthly time for Euro USD, we have the monthly upper and then the monthly lower zone. What is happening over here? Strong level of buy pressure, strong level of sell pressure. What do we have here? A range or a consolidation period. So except for this move to the downside, we are in a range or a consolidation period because price has been moving in a horizontal manner. It's as simple as that. Now, if price has been moving in a horizontal manner and it has reached resistance level, where should we go next? Continuously to the downside. But the question is, will price buy to fill this wick before we sell, or are we going to see what? Sell pressure all the way down? Let's find out as we take you through the various time frames. Alright, so Euro USD, let's take it all the way to weekly time to look at what price has to offer us. Alright, so this is the weekly time frame of Euro USD. Now Euro USD on the weekly time frame, we are seeing what? An uptrend over here. We have the what? The weekly upper and then the weekly lower zone. Weekly push the upside, higher high, weekly exhaustion, high low. Weekly continuation push, but we have seen strong level of sell pressure which has bring the market all the way to the downside. So what? This sell pressure means that there's more what? Enough momentum to push the market all the way down. But how will price start selling all the way down to this support level to complete the range or the consolidation cycle we saw on the monthly time frame? Let's find out as we take you through what? The daily and the 4-hour time frame. So this is the daily time frame of Euro USD. Now Euro USD on the daily time frame, this is quite very simple here on the daily. On the daily, we have what? Daily push, daily exhaustion, daily continuation push, new higher high, daily higher low, Will price go all the way up before it drop all the way down? Certainly. So Euro USD, we are likely to see what more buy pressure from here, which price will go all the way up before what it extends further to the downside. Okay? Just as DXY will move your downside before what extending to the upside. Remember DXY, we are going to capitalize on what? The sell momentum before what? We see the double bottom and then we buy. And then Euro USD, you're also going to see buy momentum before what? Sell momentum and then we sell. Simple as that. So Euro USD, we can look for opportunities over here to buy all the way to the upside. But let's take it all the way to the forward level. Let's see if the buy is worth it. Okay, is the buy worth it? No. Okay, so Euro USD, we are not going to pick any buy. Why? Because we are seeing what a break of structure here on the 4H. On the 4H, we have a double top, You break below the neckline, push your downside, lower happiness next, lower high, before price will drop all the way to the downside. So Euro USD, we are going to stay patient. We won't pick the buy entry, but we're going to stay patient. For price will go all the way up, create a lower high, and then we sell all the way to the downside. It's that simple. So this is our full and complete analysis on USD. Waiting for retest. After retest, look for more sell pressure to sell all the way to the downside on USD. So USD and the DXY fully analyzed to the brim. All right. So let's take all the way to the last pair. The last pair. Yes, last pair on the list is going to be AUD USD. So I've analyzed 8 pairs over here. Okay, so far these 8 pairs are the ones that I think it has the highest probability of giving us what? Profit as we enter them next week. Okay, so if I wasn't able to analyze a pair that you're expecting to analyze, don't worry. Okay, it means that pair doesn't have any probability of win next week. That's why I've left it out. Alright, so AUD, let's start the analysis on the monthly time frame. Okay, so this is AUD on the monthly time frame. This one is very simple for even what a small child to understand. Let's explain. On the monthly time frame AUD, you have the AUD upper zone, middle zone, and then the lower zone. Price has what? Broken below the strong what? Support level to a downside, giving us a lower low. After lower low, you see lower high. A lot of pin bars over here, and then price have sold all the way to a downside. So AUD is very obvious that price heading all the way down to the next what? Support level. How are we going to be able to find opportunity to sell all the way down here? Let's take you through the various time frames and analyze them together. Right, so AUD onto the weekly time frame. Alright, so this is the weekly time frame of AUD. Now AUD on the weekly time frame, we have the weekly mid-range zone over here. This is our weekly mid-range zone, very simple. Now the weekly time frame, what has price done? Price has what? Our price is what in a downtrend. Lower low, lower high, and then we have seen price break below what? These previous lows over here. So it means that we are going to see price drop all the way down here to create the next what? Lower low on the weekly. So we are going to capitalize on the next lower low of the weekly, which will make contact with the monthly support level to complete the monthly move. Alright, how are we going to pick the selling opportunity here to the downside? Let's take it all the way to the daily time frame to add more meaning. Alright, so this is the daily time frame of AUD USD, and we are seeing almost the exact same thing as we saw on the weekly time frame. A strong push to the downside, breaking below this one weekly support level. So what are we waiting for here also on the daily is a retest and then an opportunity to sell the way to the downside. But let's go to the forward time frame and then complete it. Alright, so this is the forward time frame of AUD USD. Now AUD USD on the forward time frame, this is exactly how we're going to pick our entry. We're going to wait for price to give us the retest. Okay, the retest, and then entry comes in all the way down to the next one monthly support. So once price reaches this particular area, we are looking for what? Very spin bar, or what do you call it? Evening star. Okay, evening star. And what else? We also have our bearish engulfing candle close. So these are what? The candles that we're going to be looking for before entries all the way to the downside or AUD USD. So AUD USD, this is our full and complete technical analysis. Guys, if you love what I'm doing over here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and then don't forget to join my free signals group. The link is in the bio. And if you are looking for the best course and mentorship in the forex market, you can contact me in the description. I'll take you through my course and mentorship so you can also trade and analyze the market like I do over here. Thank you for joining in. Stay classy and trade classy, guys. Peace. I'm out.